since the 1980s, the Supreme Court has used a framework for analyzing claims under Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. It sets out the kinds of evidence that plaintiffs need to produce and the kinds of analysis that the court needs to perform, or states can perform this analysis themselves. They don't have to wait to be sued. They can look at their own districts and decide whether they violate Section 2. And using that analysis, using that framework that the Supreme Court adopted in the 80s, courts or states can determine whether their plans dilute the votes of people of color. Alabama, in this case, had argued that that framework should be thrown out, essentially completely thrown out, that a new framework should be adopted that they called race neutral, and that you cannot consider race in their view when you're trying to remedy racial discrimination. So it is kind of a nonsense proposition that race can't be considered to remedy racial discrimination, but that is what Alabama was advocating for. So this, as you heard, the Supreme Court rejected that invitation to rewrite the legal standards that govern Section 2 cases, and essentially reaffirmed the test that has been used since the 80s and reaffirmed the status quo.